Alita was just there to compete. The cyborg's goal was to extract the valuable heart inside Alita, but her father desperately urged her to leave.
Alita!
It's set up, you gotta get out of there.
They're gonna kill you!
Which ones?
All of them!
The next second, Alita was instantly attacked by everyone. She leapt into action, instantly taking down her attackers. The audience cheered for her. However, just a few days earlier, she was nothing more than an abandoned scrap. In a future world, humans can modify their bodies mechanically. Dr. Ito is a doctor who treats cyborgs. He often treats those who cannot afford to pay. This leaves him with no money to buy parts. He can only search for them in the ruins. 300 years after the Battle of the Falling Sky, the Earth's surface had become a dump. Only the last sky city, Zalam, remained. It is home to all the elite, and the remaining poor can only live in the ruins. Here, the strong prey on the weak. That is the only way to survive here. One day, Dr. Ito was searching the ruins. He unexpectedly discovered the remains of a robot. Astonishingly, her core was still functioning, and her brain was still alive.
Alive?
So, Dr. Ito took her back to his lab. He wanted to repair the robot. With Gerhard's help, they fitted the robot with a bionic body. The next day, the robot woke up. She was amazed by her new body. She began trying to control it. Soon, she could move freely. But she not only forgot who she was, but she also lost all her memories. She sneaked over quietly. She saw Dr. Ito busy at work. Dr. Ito noticed her. He was happy to see the robot wake up. Gerhard gave her an orange. She didn't even know how to eat it.
Taste receptors are working. You'll like this a whole lot better with the peel off.
She asked Dr. Ito if he had any information about her past. Because she had amnesia, Dr. Ito explained that they also knew nothing.
That's so good.
So, Dr. Ito took her to explore the city. As they walked along the streets, the girl was captivated by this magnificent city original audio.
Yeah! What's that?
Dr. Ito explained that this city is called Zalam. It is the sky city that survived the last war.
What holds it up? Magic?
Something stronger. Engineering.
The place they were in was called Steel City. The robot wanted a name. Dr. Ito named her Alita.
Alita.
I love it! Can we keep it? At least until I can remember my real name?
As they continued exploring the city, Alita discovered different kinds of humans around her. Dr. Ito told her that humans from all over the world gathered here. They all serve Zalam. Suddenly, Alita was drawn to a screen.
That's so cool.
Dr. Ito did not want to explain too much about Motorball, and Alita didn't ask too many questions. Dr. Ito bought her some shawarma. A dog came over. Alita fed it some food. This made them friends. At that moment, she picked up a wanted poster. It had a high bounty for the culprit. A massive robot appeared. Alita instinctively activated her defense mode. The next second, Hugo appeared. Even so, she still rushed under the robot to rescue the dog. This surprised Hugo. Hugo realized that she was a robot.
It's really nice work. Did Doc Ito do it?
He built all of me. Except my core.
Dr. Ito's appearance interrupted them. After saying goodbye to Alita, Hugo hurriedly left. Night fell. Somewhere in the city, a woman was on her way home. Suddenly, someone attacked her. Alita heard screams. She got up and quietly observed and discovered that Dr. Ito was carrying a box. His arm was covered in blood. The next day, a patient came to the clinic. His mechanical parts were stolen and sold on the black market. Gerhard suddenly said that a woman was murdered last night.
For now, I don't want you out after dark. Is that understood?
Okay.
Alita noticed the wound on the doctor's arm. She began to suspect the doctor. She left the doctor's house. A woman called out to her. She examined Alita's arm, but Alita stopped her.
Hey, what's your problem?
It turned out she was the doctor's ex-wife, Keean. They took a walk in the city. Keean asked the doctor why he gave the parts to Alita, which should have been for his late daughter. He was supposed to destroy the parts, but Dr. Ito couldn't bear to do so. Keean tried to persuade the doctor to build a robot for Nova together, hoping it would bring them back to Zalam. But Dr. Ito refused.
I won't help you build monsters.
He believed it was impossible to return to Zalam. The woman left in a huff after hearing this. Hugo invited Alita to play a game of motorball. After her first attempt, Alita fell down.
You can let go of the remote now.
Under Hugo's guidance, Alita soon became skilled at it, but she was deliberately knocked over by one of Hugo's friends.
Nice, Tanji, thanks. She's never played before.
He kept mocking Alita. This ignited Alita's fighting spirit. When the man got in her way again, Alita knocked him down with her fighting skills. In the end, she emerged victorious.
Your freak girlfriend's got some serious malfunction.
Hugo mocked him for being beaten by the newcomer. Then he walked up to Alita and offered to take her home. Hugo praised her talent for motorball and tried to get to know Alita.
So you can't remember anything?
I'm trying to.
Family? Friends? Favorite food?
Nothing. Well, maybe oranges, but that's just since yesterday.
When they passed by a snack shop, Hugo bought Alita a piece of chocolate. It immediately captured Alita's heart.
That's so great. I have a favorite food now.
At that moment, bounty hunter Zapin walked over. Hugo told Alita that he was chasing his target. In Steel City, all guns are banned. Violators will be executed.
All guns are outlawed in Iron City. Punishable by death.
At night, Alita tried to sneak back home, but she was caught by Dr. Ito, and he questioned her about why she returned after curfew. She explained that she had lost track of time, and asked the doctor if he had any chocolate. The next day, Hugo took Alita to his secret base. From here, you can see the Sky City. Hugo dreamed of living in Zalam. He told Alita that although it has long been forbidden for anyone to go there, he can get in, but it costs a lot of money. Alita told him that she is actually from Zalam. She was discarded as scrap, and it was Dr. Ito who found her, but she lost her memory. That same night, Alita discovered that Dr. Ito had secretly left. Alita decided to follow him. She saw that the doctor was trailing a woman. He assembled the parts in the box into a huge rocket hammer. Just as he was about to act, Alita stepped in to stop him. It turned out that the woman was the wanted criminal in a recent murder case.
Looking for me?
Dr. Ito is a bounty hunter. He hunts wanted criminals. He quickly shielded Alita behind him and told Alita to hide while he confronted the wanted criminal alone, but he was quickly overpowered. At the critical moment, Alita charged forward and unleashed a huge burst of energy, instantly defeating one of the attackers. Seeing this, Dr. Ito was stunned.
My God.
The woman in red revealed her true face. She quickly attacked Alita. Alita dodged agilely. During the fight, Alita unexpectedly unleashed the Mars fighting technique embedded in her genes. With one spinning kick, she defeated the wanted criminal. Seeing her comrades defeated, Gruyishka tried to use the doctor to threaten Alita. Alita fought him directly. During the fight, she saw her memories in her mind. She fought alongside warriors on the moon. Her teammates called her 99.
99! On your left!
The image flashed by. Instinctively, Alita employed her combat skills. She directly kicked off one of Gruyishka's arms. Then she picked up a weapon and attacked him. Gruyishka realized he couldn't beat her, so he uttered a menacing remark and fled through the underground tunnel. Dr. Ito praised Alita's martial arts skills. Then they went together to the martial arts headquarters to claim the bounty on the wanted criminal. Alita told the doctor about the memories that had come back to her.
Before the fall, there were police to stop criminals. Now the factory pays us to do the dirty work.
Dr. Ito entered the headquarters alone and handed over the robot's head, claiming a $20,000 bounty.
Bounty for the cyborg Nisyana was 20,000 credits.
Alita accused Dr. Ito of hiding his identity. After returning to the clinic, Dr. Ito explained the situation to Alita and revealed that the body he had created for her was originally intended for his daughter.
Her name was Alita.
One night, a criminal broke into the clinic and tried to steal medication. When Dr. Ito discovered him, the criminal pushed him aside and cruelly killed his daughter. Unable to accept his daughter's death, his wife left him. Dr. Ito couldn't come to terms with reality and chose to become a bounty hunter. Although he succeeded in avenging his daughter, he still couldn't find peace in Cedo. Therefore, he began his career as a hunter.
Did you ever find peace?
I found you.
I'm not your daughter. I don't know what I am.
I do.
Dr. Ito discovered that Alita's heart was powered by an antimatter microreactor, a technology lost for 300 years. This could keep Steel City running for many years.
This is lost technology. Nobody's made this stuff since...
Victor asked Keean to create a robot, one that could become the motorball champion. Keean agreed to his request. Victor then left. Suddenly, Grushka fell from the window. He begged for help. Keean wasn't keen on helping him, but when she learned that Alita had caused this, she changed her mind. Meanwhile, Dr. Ito was searching for his next bounty target. Alita expressed her desire to become a bounty hunter. She wanted to fight to recover her memories, but Dr. Ito opposed her request, as he didn't want her to be involved in violence. Alita ran off on her own. Alita decided to train by herself. While Keean was repairing Grushka, she suddenly discovered that a monitoring chip had been implanted in his brain. Keean suspected someone was controlling him. She wanted to remove the chip. Just as they were talking, Nova took control of Grushka and ordered them to upgrade him, telling them to have Grushka capture Alita. After speaking, he disconnected. At that moment, Alita found Hugo and asked him to help her recover her memories. Hugo took her to the arena. Alita excitedly watched the match. The robots fiercely competed for the ball. Hugo showed her around, telling her that one of the top robots there might be the final champion, and the prize was a trip to Zalam. From a distance, they saw a woman. Hugo explained that they pretty much controlled the entire arena. The match reached its final round. Kasugan used a machine to destroy his teammate and won the championship, but Victor was dissatisfied with the result. He decided to take Kasugan's weapon. At this point, Hugo's friend told them it was time to leave. Hugo invited Alita to travel with him the next day, which would help her recover her memory. Kasugan was celebrating when he was suddenly attacked. Soon, he was subdued and tied up on a truck. They removed his mechanical claws. Just then, Victor arrived. They removed Kasugan's mask. It turned out that Hugo was an organ trafficker. Victor praised them and paid Hugo the bounty. His friend asked Hugo when he would tell Alita about his real job. Hugo left, unconcerned. Victor eliminated Kasugan. The next day, Hugo and Alita went to the outskirts. They told Alita about the history of this place.
Who was the enemy?
The urn.
United Republics of Mars. URM.
They arrived at the Lake Cedo.
This is an arm ship?
It's pretty hard to sell this stuff since no one knows what it is or...
Alita seemed to receive some kind of calling. Then she jumped into the lake and swam toward a spaceship. Alita entered the ship. She moved effortlessly through the corridors, as if she were familiar with the place. Alita entered a command to disable the shield. A robotic body appeared. She retrieved the body and returned to her friends.
Oh, this can't be good.
Alita brought the body back to the lab, hoping that Dr. Ito would help her transfer into it, but the doctor refused. He told Alita that this body was called the Berserker, equipped with highly advanced technology, and extremely powerful. If she couldn't control it, it would be dangerous.
This is where you're drawn to conflict with bodies. It was used by the Berserkers. You are not just a warrior, Alita. Berserker.
Alita was furious. She went alone to the hunter's headquarters and registered as a bounty hunter. Then, she arrived at the hunter's bar. Hugo wasn't happy to be there. Zapin was beating someone up. He noticed Alita and walked over to provoke her. Alita told him she was now a bounty hunter. She tried to rally all the hunters to fight against Grushka together, but no one took her seriously. Zapin mocked her.
What could I learn from a loudmouth pretty boy who spends all of his money on his face?
Zapin was furious and attacked Alita directly. Alita easily defeated him. She then challenged everyone in the bar. If she won, they would have to help her. A fierce fight broke out. Alita took on all the hunters in the bar. Just as she gained the upper hand, Dr. Ito arrived at the scene. He tried to stop the fight, but it didn't work. He had no choice but to say what came next.
No more free repairs!
His threat was effective. Suddenly, Grushka burst through the door. His body had been upgraded. His target was Alita. With a single swing of his hand, he killed a bounty hunter. The others didn't dare step forward.
Ah, she's all yours.
What about the rest of you?
There ain't no bounty on this guy, Doc. Not our problem.
Only Alita's little dog stood up, barking furiously at Grushka. Grushka mercilessly killed it. Alita was completely enraged. She smeared the dog's blood on her face as war paint. When Grushka tried to attack her, she skillfully dodged. Grushka smashed open the floor. Without hesitation, Alita jumped down. They began their battle underground. Alita kept attacking, but she couldn't injure Grushka. Then, Grushka used his mechanical claws. Just as Alita was about to strike her final blow, his spinning chains sliced through her body. At that moment, Alita's memories resurfaced. She saw that Nova was the real enemy. Despite her injuries, Alita kept fighting. She leapt at Grushka and struck directly at his eye. She lost her only remaining hand. Just then, Dr. Ito and Hugo arrived and forced Grushka to retreat. Original audio.
Think you can replace us that easily? Bring her back as many times as you like.
Dr. Ito takes Alita back to the clinic. The doctor can only attach the Berserker body to Alita. Her body begins to recover on its own.
The shell is reconfiguring to her subconscious image of herself.
It's like she's a little older than you thought.
I've never seen anything like it.
Original audio. The transformation surgery is complete. Alita showcases this perfect body. Even with just one finger on the ground, she handles it effortlessly. This body can absorb air and generate plasma as a weapon. She thanks the doctor for his help. Then, she meets Hugo. Hugo is very happy.
Why don't you like her?
I just never got the whole hard body thing. Besides, she's armed. I mean, she was probably the enemy at one point.
Gruyishka returns to the lab. Victor is furious about the mission's failure. Victor blames Gruyishka and tells him that his only chance is to bring back Alita's heart. Gruyishka promises not to disappoint him. After washing his face to clear his head, he tells Keean that they can't rely solely on Gruyishka. He needs to devise a detailed plan to prevent Gruyishka from failing again. Then, he finds Hugo and extracts information about Alita from him. It turns out that Victor pretended to agree to go to Zalam with Hugo on the condition that he must do the dirty work for the man and pay him a bounty. He demands that Hugo persuade Alita to join the tournament. Alita arrives at Hugo's house. She finds Hugo drunk. When Hugo wakes up, he tells Alita what happened. If he gets the heart, he can immediately head to Zalam. Alita realizes how important this is to Hugo. Alita decides to help Hugo earn the bounty.
He's got an microreactor for a power supply, probably worth millions.
But Hugo refuses. He doesn't want to burden her, because he has thought of a better plan to have Hugo compete in the tournament. If he wins the championship, he can enter Zalam. Alita agrees. Zapin, hiding in the corner, is determined to help Alita. On the day of the tournament, all the contestants are brimming with confidence. The doctor outfits Alita with her gear. Alita asks him if humans can fall in love with robots.
Why? Does this cyborg love a human?
Dr. Ito tells her that it's possible, but he tells Alita to focus on the tournament and to stay safe, because he might not be able to repair advanced tech. Alita writes 99 on her battlesuit. It is the name from her memories. Victor summons the robots he hired. He promises that in the tournament, whoever eliminates Alita will receive a bounty of 500,000. Alita calls Hugo to ask why he hasn't shown up.
I'm doing this for us, remember? You can't miss it.
I won't. Trust me.
Meanwhile, Hugo meets a friend who is dismantling robot parts. Hugo stops him and orders him to stop such illegal activities. This makes his friend very angry. They get into a fight. He swears to take revenge on Hugo. Suddenly, Zapin appears. He kills Hugo's friend. In the chaos, Hugo throws a Molotov cocktail and escapes. At that moment, the tournament is about to begin. The doctor notices through his telescope that all the competitors are bounty hunters and realizes it's a trap. He immediately tells Alita, original audio. But Alita decides to enter the tournament. Alita instantly becomes someone else's target. Alita is not afraid at all. She quickly subdues them. The referee praises her as the battle angel, although she sustains some injuries. Alita is still not defeated. Hugo calls Alita for help. Alita tells him, meet me at the agreed spot. Alita crashes through a billboard and charges out of the arena. Robots trap her. Alita manages to break free and deals with the attackers. Meanwhile, Hugo is captured by Zapin. At a critical moment, Alita appears. She sees Hugo's wanted notice. Zapin exposes Hugo's crimes.
Is it true?
Ellie, don't understand.
Alita feels helpless. At that moment, Zapin is about to eliminate Hugo. Alita threatens, saying, if you touch Hugo, I'll kill you. Zapin warns him. Interfering with a hunter's pursuit is a crime. Then he stabs Hugo with his sword. At that moment, law enforcement robots arrive. Alita picks up Hugo and runs into a chapel, pleading with him not to die. Hugo tells her that bounty hunters can track him by his scent. Keean is moved by their love and decides to help them.
Did you find them?
No, they're gone.
At Alita's request, she helps preserve Hugo's brain, although they manage to evade the law enforcement robots. The cautious Zapin notices something is wrong. He tries to seize the body to check if Hugo is truly dead, but the law enforcement robots accuse him of attempting theft, stealing someone else's bounty, and violating the hunter code. An angry Alita directly slashes Zapan's face. Back at the doctor's lab, the doctor connects him to a robot, saving Hugo's life. The doctor tells Alita that no one can reach Zalam through money. Hugo was deceived, and he tells them that the only way to get to Zalam is by becoming the Mobile Ball champion. Dr. Ito removed the mark from his head to forget Zalam. Victor discovers that Keean is helping Alita. Keean decides to abandon their plan because she is a mother, and she wants to opt out. Dr. Ito tells Alita that only she can stop them. At that moment, Alita calls Ito father for the first time.
Thank you, Father.
She goes to the Hunter factory, where the robots attack her. She powers up her sword, swiftly destroying the robots.
Violation, violation, violation.
She charges into Victor's office. Determined to avenge Hugo, Victor is terrified. He activates a machine, revealing the mastermind, Nova. Nova needs various body parts for his experiments, especially the brain of someone he admires. Suddenly, Bruyishka ambushes Alita. Memories suddenly flash before Alita's eyes. She sees her comrades being wiped out by defense rings on a pipeline. Her commander orders her to complete the mission and destroy Zalam. Back to reality. Alita's wounds heal on their own. She discovered the true enemy. Victor is only a puppet. She effortlessly cuts Bruyishka in half. Victor begs for mercy. Suddenly, Nova suddenly takes control of Victor. Alita, without hesitation,
You've just lost a puppet.
That looks fatal.
No matter. Vector was getting tiresome.
eliminates Victor. Dr. Ito calls. He tells Alita. Law enforcement is looking for Hugo. Now Hugo is trying to climb the pipe that leads to Zalam. Alita catches up with Hugo. She persuades him to come down. They escape together.
We don't belong anywhere except together.
Always be running.
Together. Come with me.
Nova, secretly watching, activates his defense function, just as Hugo agrees. The defensive weapons roll down instantly. Hugo's body is shattered. Alita grabs Hugo, but her robotic arm cannot support him. Hugo thanks Alita with his last words. Then he falls into the clouds. A few months later, Alita prepares for the Mobile Ball competition. The referee introduces her. In a short time, she qualifies for the Championship League. She enters the arena. She looks up at Zalam. In a defiant stance, she raises her longsword towards Zalam, and Nova is watching her.